Well, NBC's new show, The Village, came right out the gate with the drama and the emotions. We're going to talk about all that and more. It's coming up. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey. I always have to, I don't know why, like every show I open up like this. AfterBuzz TV. Well, everyone, welcome. A new after show for a new show called The Village. I am here tonight with my co-host.
Hey, Lanisha, El Marie. What's up, guys? I'm Carmen.
Yes, and if you guys don't know me, I am El Marie because I didn't introduce myself first. So we are going to get into this show. Carmen, what were your overall thoughts? First episode.
Oh, man, this is a good one. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a good one. You know, I've been caught up in the reality world for a while. So I really felt like this is touching on a lot of things that's really happening in our nation right now. And the fact that it's called The Village and it's showing the support of so many different types of people for each other and just them having a common safe ground. I got a feeling that this is going to be an excellent show.
Yeah, same here. And like I was telling you, usually for me when I'm watching a series, it's brand new, it takes me about 2 to 3 episodes to really feel like I'm in it. Like, okay, I get it, because it takes a minute for character development, and you know what I mean? You're getting to know all these new characters and everything, but I was like, oh, right off the bat, they got me. I'm like, this is a good one.
I'm like, kudos to the writers, because I'm like, tears on the first episode, like, how am I this emotionally involved already? I'm in. I'm so happy that we're doing this.
Yeah, almost each character situation kind of brought a tear to my eye. So let's go ahead and start off with Sarah and Katie, which Katie is this young teenage girl. Sarah is her mom, who works at a nursing home, and the show kind of opens up with Katie sneaking out. At first, I'm like, is she robbing somebody? She's, you know, what's going on here? But she snuck out, and then she crochets a heart on a fence. Like, oh, that's cute. I don't know what that's for.
Yeah. Off the bat, I got that she was a rebel and that she does things her own way.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that she went against the grain, and you don't know what she's doing. Like, she's cutting a hole in the fence, so it seems like she's up to something bad. But then you see that she crochets a heart. I think that is so cool, because I think it speaks to this younger generation. They are such fighters. They are such warriors. They have this warrior spirit about them. Just when you look at the tragedies that are happening in our nation and across the world. Yeah. Rest in peace to all of the sweet lives that we lost in the incident in the mosque shooting. But you see how the children are fighting. So I think that them including that rebellious spirit in her is very true to the times.
Yeah, like we say a lot about this younger generation, but that is true. They are fighters. And they woke. They stand up for stuff. They are not afraid.
They do what our generation talks about doing.
Yes,
they go and they do it. They're setting the example for us to follow their lead. So I definitely got that. You know, that she was a woke one. You know,
because it slipped by me exactly what the cause was that she was fighting against, but there is some issue around the neighborhood or something, I guess, at their building, or because it was a construction worker that was like, you know, we saw you or whatever. So it's something,
some sort of corporate place that's going to employ people, obviously, that's going against the cause that she's fighting for. So she's like love over corporations.
Yes.
So, you know, I get it.
And then we meet her mom, Sarah, who, like I said, she was working in a nursing home. She seems pretty together. She seems like the cool nurse at the nursing home. Yeah. Because then we also are introduced to some other characters, Pops.
Right. Enzo, Lorenzo.
Yes.
I love Pops.
Love him already. I think he's my favorite.
I need to kick it with Pops.
Right?
Yeah. Pops looks like he's a good time. He doesn't take anything too seriously
from anybody,
and we can introduce him when his friend passes away, lifelong friend. Yeah, and it when you're younger, you take death in such a different way. When you're older, a lot of our seniors are comfortable with the idea of passing. They're like, we've lived our lives, so. And it just seems to be something that's understood across the board, and I think they did a good job at showing that. Yeah. And I like the way they went and memorialized their friend at the the fair.
That was nice. Yeah. And Pops is like a low key drug dealer.
Pops is with all the
He's with, yep.
things,
All
okay?
the it's.
All the it's. He's with the it's, okay?
But it's funny but not in a bad way. To kind of help his fellow, seniors out. Like if you are feeling bad and what they giving you is not working, or if you just need to feel a little bit lifted.
Right. Pops knows how to have a good time. That's for sure. Salute to Enzo, for sure.
He's trying to have a good time, but his grandson that we're introduced to, Gabriel, he's a fun killer.
He likes a little empathy.
Yeah.
Which sometimes happens when you have a goal that you are extremely focused on.
True.
And you don't want anything to get in the way of it.
Yeah.
So he's in law school.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be a lawyer, and I guess I get it, but he kind of I was like, okay, buddy, tough guy. Like, do you really have to send him back and take your credit card?
Right.
Like, let the guy live a little. His best friend just passed.
That too. You know what? When going through all that, I didn't even think about that. Like, chill, his friend passed away.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're older, that means nothing. It's even worse because that's so many years and so many memories that you have with someone, and now all that is just gone.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a really good lesson in empathy.
I think so too. I do. We got a little bit of a taste of it because later on he apologizes to his grandfather. And the grandfather, he like you said, he wants to live a little bit. So he really doesn't like the nursing home. And he wants to live with Gabriel. And Gabriel's like, I had a girlfriend. He's young.
What would
and
you do?
It's his grandfather. I think it might be a little bit different because we don't know yet, like, the background, like how he grew up, if he was around him all the time.
Right.
So maybe it'd be a little bit different. Like a parent, I think is different.
Okay.
Because I'm like, Mom, you get on my nerves, but if it comes down to it, you got to come here.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. And so, but I think maybe just a little bit different for him since it's his grandparent, maybe. But like I said, once we know the rest of their story, but I can kind of understand it. Like you said, he's in law school, so he has that on his plate, and he kind of wants his freedom at home, and he has his girl. So I can understand it. And then it's like, with Pops, it's just that he doesn't want to be there, kind of. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a totally bad environment.
Right.
So I could see why he was hesitant at first to be like, no.
Let's talk about Pops and his two friends, like trying to get a cheap peek at the yoga instructor or the aerobics instructor. They're like, look, let us get our swerve on. This is all the action we get.
He's like, what are y'all doing? They were like, wait for it.
Right.
Wait for it.
All of that for a little booty look. I'm like, okay. Guys, boys will be boys.
Right? I was going to say, men are a mess. But then I was like, I don't know. We're getting bad, too, because I would have been like, wait for it. We swing around with them shorts on.
We would have been doing the same thing, girl.
Too much.
Right. We would have been like,
okay, swirl on this way now.
Right. At that age, I think any good-looking booty would make me happy. Doesn't even matter who is attached to.
Man, okay, so then we also have Nick, who is a injured, I guess he's a veteran now.
He's a hero, it seems.
He is a hero.
Yeah. Man, Nick. It's
beautiful,
so,
by the way.
Oh my God. First of all, I know we'll get into it later, but Nick is beautiful and Kate is beautiful.
Yeah, Sarah.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Mom? So the Kate is the daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. It's our first day, you guys. We're just getting into this. But yeah, Nick is beautiful and he's a war hero. And he's having a hard time having people salute him. And it's so crazy because we have no idea, us just being civilians, what goes on overseas when people fight these wars. And it's probably things that you don't want to be commended for. You know what I mean? And so I think they did a good job at showing that dynamic of the guilt that you feel when you leave from war, but then he's being looked at as a hero, but then he's recalling someone else who was injured who threw themselves on top of him to save him. Yeah. So I had a lot of empathy for him. I'm interested to see where he goes with him.
Because oftentimes you do see that and they try to portray that in shows that the soldiers don't feel that way about themselves. Like they don't really feel like they're a hero.
And obviously he's still dealing with trauma. So, and then there's a big secret too.
Yes, we don't get to that.
Yes,
that secret. But when we meet,
excuse me, guys, I'm fighting a little cold.
Yeah, I'm all stuffy, so excuse me too. But when we meet Nick, we also meet Ryan, who is the building superintendent, and
it's so immature of me. But the first thing I thought was like, He's still managing buildings from Coming to America.
Oh,
I'm like, he still works there.
even think that. Oh wow, and they're in New York.
And they're in New York. I'm like, this guy's still managing buildings after all of these years.
That's funny.
But he's an extremely empathetic guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. He also owns a bar that has a lot of history in the bar. Like you said, like a lot of people came through that bar, like Dr. King, Langston Hughes, Ella Fitzgerald. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Just cough it out, girl. Sorry.
Ooh.
But but a lot of history in that bar, which is like really cool. And like you said, like sometimes he can still hear the ghosts and the voices of that bar. Like,
yeah.
oh, that was probably a cool time.
I think it was cool for him to embrace Nick in that way, to offer him a job, and know that he doesn't need to seclude himself the way he was trying to. So good job.
And I think I like the whole like point of this show, The Village. Like the building is called The Village, but it also pays homage to the saying, like, it takes a village, you know? Not only to raise a child, but it takes a village to take care of everyone.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean? So we see that with everyone in this story, like everyone is tied together and they're all there for each other and help each other. So speaking of, we're introduced to Ava, who is from Iraq, I think. Or is she Palestinian? I believe she was from Iraq.
Iran.
Okay, because I knew it didn't seem right, but it was close. I'm like, but so she's from Iran, and as soon as we meet her, we see she's into it with ICE, and she's telling them that she has papers, you know, and they won't let her go get the papers. Then we see her son.
Oh man, that was so heartbreaking. I mean, this show is really hitting the topics.
It really is.
It is really talking about what's happening right now, and I think this is good. Hopefully this gives everybody a different point of view. We get to see it in a different way other than the way the media portrays things. But it's just so heartbroken, the way you could just pull up on somebody, and the way that first response was, oh, call Child Protective Services. And it's like, I was so happy to see the officer step in, tried to protect her as much as he could, but he didn't want her to get in further trouble, you know, so he suggests that they handle it the right way. I don't know if that's suggestion from the network that, like, to not fight,
not fight,
you know,
at all.
but I'm just happy that he was there, and that the building, like you said, you never, like, everybody coming together. The building manager's wife steps up and says, you're not going to do this alone. I'm going to help you find a way. You know, she's a social worker, so she understands these type of problems. The officer takes the son into his care, almost loses him. So I'm like, definitely don't turn your back on the kid again, ever again. I'm like, don't turn around, you know? But he got through it. He found a safe space.
Because we both were saying that, like, don't leave him. Right. And then turn your back on him, you can tell he doesn't have kids.
Right.
Because even if you walk away, you have that, like,
I was like, where are you going?
Where you're still watching the child. You still have your eye on him. But but like we said, he found him. And so the officer also lives in the apartment building as well. So it's good that they had that support, because later on, like you said, with Patricia, that's the building super's wife, she tells, like, kind of everybody that, like, we need to help Ben out with Sammy. Sammy is a little boy, like, because he can't do it by himself. Especially, like I said, I don't think he has kids, so he's probably like, ugh.
Right. Speaking of doing it by themselves, Kate is a single mother, right?
Yes.
Did we skip over her daughter? I'm sorry, Sarah. The pregnancy.
Oh, we didn't talk about the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yes, but so before we get into the pregnancy, really quickly, let's just
give a little shout out.
Yep.
You know, all right. Well, before we get into this Kate and Sarah situation, we just like to give you guys at home a huge thank you for tuning in to us. And we like to thank our network, AfterBuzz TV, for supplying this wonderful studio for us to bring you these great reviews and podcasts. If you are at home watching on YouTube, we love if you give us a thumbs up. If you are listening to us on iTunes, please give us 5-star ratings. So, you know, we would really appreciate your 5 stars, because we don't deserve less, right? We deserve 5. I feel like we deserve 5, right?
We're awesome.
But no matter where you are, make sure you tell your friends what's happening here at AfterBuzz. Let them know how much you enjoy our reviews, so that they can get on the conversation. You guys can keep up with us on our Twitters and our Instagrams, and again in the comments. We love to keep the conversation going. So you guys let us know what you think about this new series and how you guys felt about it first time. Did it hit you in your heart the way it hit us in our hearts? You know, and until then, thank you for tuning in and enjoying our shows. And this is where you can find us, all right?
Yep. Ding, ding. So, girl, yes. How did I skip over the pregnancy?
Because it's just so much. It's so many new people.
First episodes are always like,
yes.
But yes, Katie is pregnant.
Katie is pregnant, teenage pregnancy. Again, it touches on abortion rights.
Yeah.
It touches on whether you have the right to choose what you're going to do with your body, no matter how old or young. The mom thinks that she should go through with it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's terrified.
Yeah. She doesn't really know like what to do.
And it was so relatable. That struggle. Was your mom a single mom? Mm-hmm. My mother was a single mother. Mm-hmm. My dad's in my life now. But growing up, and even now, the older I got, the more and more empathetic I was towards my mother and the sacrifices she made. Yes. I really teared up on this part. I hope I don't tear up now. I'm such a punk. But so many people have that struggle. Mm-hmm. And our parents, our moms will be the first one that's like, you don't owe me anything, baby. I chose this. But watching, my mom was a singer, top-notch singer. Mm-hmm. Had her degree in music, and she said, I feel like she could have gone so far if it wasn't for the sacrifice she made for me. So I just related to that moment. They did such a good job with that writing. I'm like, how did they get inside our heads like that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because Katie said that to her mom because she was feeling that way. Because she said, like, what, and have this kid, ruin my life?
Yeah.
And then Sarah's like, you didn't ruin my life.
Right.
It may be hard or whatever, but you didn't ruin my life because just as you have that choice right now, I had it as well.
Exactly.
And I didn't choose that. I chose you. You know what I mean?
I was like, oh, my heart is about to melt into a puddle.
That was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, but it's like, it shows the sacrifices. I think when you become a mom, you really get your superhero wings. I think that moms are the most powerful force on earth.
I know. I be feeling like I am nothing. I'll be like, I hope these things kick in. Like, I am super grown. And even anytime my mom comes to visit, I feel like a child. Like, I don't feel like a woman when my mom is around. Because I'm like, it's certain instincts that I just don't have yet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not a mother. Like, it's just something, like you said, you just get to a higher level of a human being when you become a mother.
So, I mean, think about it. You grow a whole person. You think about how deep that is. You grow a whole person inside of you. And then you give birth to it, and then your body makes food for it. Yeah. You become like something other when you have a child.
Yeah, it
and
is
I think
amazing.
It's so selfless. I feel so selfish sometimes because I'm like, I'm living for me right now, But, salute to Sarah, man. Salute to her stepping back at first because she was defensive.
She was.
And then she stepped in and she was like, let me check myself. I was in your shoes. Let me be the person for you that I needed there for me. Yeah. And she did a great job.
She did.
Yeah.
She did, yeah. Because later on they have a party at the rooftop. So Ryan's like, every third Friday we usually have this party, but they bumped it up because they have the new neighbor Nick. So they have the party, and at the end of the party, and that was another moment too when Sarah was just I'm gonna cry. Sarah was holding her, and she was like, I got you.
Yes, girl.
Like, I got you.
I was like,
right.
I was holding back all those tears.
Yeah,
it was a moment.
And it was like whatever you choose, I got you. But also, like, if you're leaning towards this, like, because she was saying, like, you can have a hard life and be happy, like, at the same time. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you're not happy. And sometimes you have your unhappy days. You know what I mean?
You
but
have
it's a balance.
children or no children.
And, so it's just life, and you get through it. So I think it was like, if you decide to go through with it, you have me. And I think also Patricia kind of put that in her mind as well, because she told her, she was like, you know what she didn't have when she was your age? A mother like you. So I think maybe with Sarah, when she was pregnant as a teen, she probably didn't have the support of her mother, but now she's like, I'm going to give my daughter what I didn't have, and be there for her. So that's amazing. Yeah. And then earlier, and there was a scene where Katie is looking up like a website to kind of see what her options are. And a little baby comes up to her and is like drawn to her, and then she's like, Mama. And then she's like, and then the mother of that toddler comes, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. She's the only word, that's the only word she knows. And then to me, I felt like that was a sign.
Babies be knowing.
Yeah. They knew.
Know.
They know too.
I don't know what it is, but they know.
Sometimes I'd be like, baby, get away from me.
no. Stay over there.
But they do. But to me, I was like, that was a sign. And then when we find out who Nick is to Sarah, so Sarah meets this young, so the guy, the older guy that passed away, his son came to kind of collect his things. There's another lady, like at the home. Actually, I don't know if she works there or lives there.
I think she lives there.
Okay, so she encourages her to ask this guy out.
I loved her.
She was so cool.
I loved her. That's
right?
gonna be me. Like, I love the way they snuck in the closet.
Get your life.
She's like, your time's up.
That's like you now. You be telling me,
girl, you know.
Get your
life. Get your life, okay?
Well, so she encourages her to ask this young man out, and she does, but it's very, very awkward. And she's like, look, I just can't look single tonight. So when she brings him to the party, I was like, oh, she invited him so she didn't look single in front of Nick.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't know why. But I felt it. I was like, this is because of Nick.
And I was like, damn, they're really cute. I'm like, they're going to hook up. That's what's going to happen. I'm like, the vet and Sarah, Nick and Sarah are going to have a thing because they just look right. Good job with the casting.
It was something good. Yes.
Yeah.
Because their chemistry was good.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't only like writing. It's like you could see the pull between the two of them.
He's hot. She's hot. Yeah. I liked it.
It was like...
I was like, oh, that's going to be a thing.
But then we find out.
That's her baby daddy. And then we were like, is that? Because it was something that alluded to it. Like right before, we were like, is that? And then... oh, when she goes and knocks on the door, and they just seem really comfortable. It's like, why are they so comfortable?
It's like, what is
and
this?
Then she's like, I'm going to be missing the best smile in the world. I'm like, okay, she's pretty forward. Like, okay, come to find out.
Not awkward with him.
Right. Come to find out. That's Kate's dad.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I was like, oh, we're dropping bombs first episode?
When he had first of all, the dog lost his leg. I was like, oh my God, tearjerker.
Crying that moment too. Like I said, this is on NBC, and NBC is now officially, it stands for Nothing But Crying.
Nothing but crying,
Nothing but crying. Because after this show comes on, This Is Us comes on. So that's the new acronym for NBC.
Yes, Nothing But Crying, because that was us. We were like, don't let the eyeliner run.
Right? But but that was beautiful.
I'm excited
service
to
dog.
see.
And then
I want to see how Kate's gonna take it.
I know, because I think the preview was like a this season preview. So like I don't know if that's next episode that they break down and try to tell her if it happens right away. I don't know, but it is going to be exciting because like I said, I was like when they first met, when Kate met Nick. It was like kind of like they were drawn to each other already. So then I'm like, they have to kind of tell her soon because she's going to take to him.
I wonder why she doesn't know. Like, why didn't they tell her? That's what I want to find out. Like, why was it a secret?
Yeah.
Because they seem to have like a really good, thing going on. The chemistry seems right.
Yeah.
I wonder how long he's been away at war.
Right. I wonder if it was because she was young, one of those things like he's got to go live his life and do well.
Maybe her mom banged him.
I think it was more so like the parents probably pulled them away. I know they'll probably tell us. We'll probably figure that out. But I'm thinking like maybe it was more like the parents. Because he doesn't seem, as you get older, you change. But from what we see of him right now, in my opinion, he doesn't seem like the type that would have just walked away.
He doesn't.
So I think it's something deeper there.
Yeah, I think the mom, maybe that's why Kate is so supportive. She's like, no, you got me. Because maybe her mom was real mean about her pregnancy,
Yeah.
Who knows? But I think it's going to be sad for the guy who just got the divorce because I think he's going to fall in love with her.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a no-go because she's going to be back with her baby daddy.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to get back together.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Like I said, their chemistry is just so strong. First episode.
It's a thing.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't let that linger, like of us trying to figure it out. Like I said, they dropped that first episode. That's good, though, because I've never seen that before. When, a bomb like that, like
how
something that juicy.
How is he going to feel about her pregnancy?
Actually, I was thinking that I was like, this is like a redemption baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here comes another baby that now they can all be a family and raise it together.
That would be bomb. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Keeping my fingers crossed for that.
Right?
For sure.
Let's see what I think that's kind of like.
Well, luckily Ava did get the help that she needed.
Yes, going back to Ava, yeah.
So we get to see the grandson. What's his name again?
Gabriel.
We get to see Gabriel. I guess he gives in a little bit. He decides to take on the task of helping her out. You know, so that was good.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm looking forward to seeing her go back home and be reunited with her son.
Yeah. And then also we have Patricia, who has cancer. And it looks like it's possibly maybe back because of towards the end. Well, first when we first see her, she's like in a doctor's room or something like that. We don't know what's going on. Then later on, she calls the cancer department or whatever to make an appointment. So it's like, oh, okay. So we have to see how that kind of works out, because it seems like Patricia and Ryan are like kind of the glue that holds everything together for that community.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see, like, once you have a trying situation going on with the person that holds everything together, then sometimes everything falls apart.
And now it's time for the village to come step up and be behind her. You know, so we'll have to wait and see.
Ooh, this is going to be a good show. Anything that we may have missed?
I loved the old guys in the teacups. I love the fact that Pops is a finesser. And he found his way into the park or the fair.
I feel like Pops is like an old school New Yorker.
I want to hang with Pops. I want to take a shot with Pops. I want to go to that bar and let him tell me old stories.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Are we going to do a village moment?
We can just start that right now.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm just.
We can't. So if we do a village moment for you guys at home, it'll, I guess, be our special segment. We may come up with some more things as well. Just trying to get into this first episode to see how everything goes. But our village moment will be our favorite moment or quote from this episode. So we can go ahead, because I actually have a moment myself, just not even knowing we would do it, but I just had a favorite part. But go ahead.
My favorite village moment. I wonder if we have the same one. When the building manager is in the bar with Nick, and he introduces him to Pop and his friends, and they all stand up and salute him. I was like, oh my God,
that was so touching.
And I hope this opens people's eyes to help people realize the sacrifices that are being made on our behalf. You know, we need to do that saluting a little more than we do. You know. So, you know, like, take the time maybe to create your own village moment in your life. When you see a soldier that's out here fighting for us, salute him and thank him. Because it's no joke what they're doing, what they're signing up for.
It's not at all.
And the psychological changes that have to happen for them to carry out certain things. It was just really, really, really touching the respect that they had between each other. I loved it. I loved the fact that he dropped his credit card and was like, "It's on me, Pops."
Yeah.
You know, so that was my village moment.
That was really a good moment, because they all, like, you know, because they were all veterans themselves. So yeah, that was really a good moment. But speaking, and it gave a sense of family. So I love that moment. But my moment was more so of a quote. And I think it came from Pops. But I think so. But when he said, family is where you find it.
Yep.
And I just think that
he said that at the end.
Yeah. And that's very beautiful, because that's true.
It is.
Like, you know, it's not. I watch Grey's Anatomy. I do the after show for that as well. And they had an episode where they broke down the meaning or the backstory of the term "blood is thicker than water," and we would always associate that with blood family being thicker than water. Emotions go away. But they broke it down where it was a proverb of the blood shed on the battlefield makes you more family than the water of the womb.
Wow. What you go through, what you fight for together, what you endure together, it bonds you.
It bonds you deeper.
True.
It is true. Sometimes you go through it with your family.
Like family.
Yeah. Sometimes you go through things with your actual family, but sometimes the most part, you go through it with your friends and the people that you gain along your life's journey, and those things that you go through, it bonds you.
I have a whole family at home that you can't tell me they're not my blood.
Yeah.
You know, if I love you, you become a sister or a cousin or a brother. Everybody knows that about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like sis, cuz, or I'm auntie or something. I'm getting to my auntie ages now, you know, but yeah, it's true. It's true that I don't want to think of it as trauma bonding, but everybody that's born into your family ain't gonna ride for you.
They're not.
You know, so when you find the people that's gonna ride for you, that makes great sense.
It does.
That's a good one, Anisha.
Oh, you know, but so that was my favorite moment. That family is where you find it.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Well, I think we got us a good show on our hands.
I do too. I hope you guys are watching this show. You guys come back and watch this after show.
Yes.
We're not signing out right now. Just saying, like, I hope you guys join us on this journey. I do think this is a really good show. Like, first episode, like, they covered a lot of things, like emotions. And I think we learned enough about the characters to kind of be interested in them already to want to come back next week and see what's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of that, let's get into some predictions.
All right.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm going to say I'll go first.
Okay.
With mine, I think that, like I said, so the breakdown they gave was like a season thing. I don't think that they're going to that Sarah and Nick are going to tell Katie right away.
Okay.
And like I said, I think Katie's kind of going to take to Nick and she's going to like him. And so therefore, when she finds out that that's her dad, it's going to be like very awkward. So I think like this next episode, we're going to kind of see them, you know, just liking each other, enjoying each other's company and Nick kind of being like, you know what I mean? We're not ready to tell her yet, but maybe I shouldn't be too close. I think he's going to have this like internal battle of like how he should interact with Katie. Yeah. And that's all. I just have my predictions on that family.
I'm definitely predicting Nick and Sarah getting back together off the rip. I'm definitely predicting that her friend that she asked out on a date is going to catch feelings for her and she's not going to be available emotionally, or she is and Nick's not going to appreciate it. He's going to start catching feelings for her again, maybe.
That could happen too.
I don't know if the baby with Kate is up in the air. I can't tell if she's going to want to keep it or I feel like she is going to, or maybe she's not. I don't know.
Yeah. It is up in the air. She seems a little bit back and forth.
And I think something's going to happen to open the young lawyer's eyes, to let him know he needs to play a bigger role in this village.
Yeah.
So, you know, those are my predictions. Yeah. Well,
I'm excited for this show.
I'm excited about this show.
Yes.
I really am. I'm happy we're on this.
Yes.
This is a good one. This is going to be a good watch. You guys at home, make sure y'all tell us what y'all think about it too. Like, let us know how you felt about this first episode and the characters and what your predictions are, because we're here for that.
And leave, you know, the comments, your thoughts and everything in the comments. And hopefully you guys will start to join us live. We'll pull up the live like maybe next week or so. We just wanted to kind of get into this first episode. So hopefully you guys will catch and chat with us live too, because that makes the shows even better to hear your thoughts as the show is going on. It's
you guys are our
cool.
extended panel, so it helps. Like, we get to say how you feel on air. You guys get to tell us how you feel. You know, it's a great interaction. So you guys want to get in on the fun, trust me.
Yep, definitely. Well, guys, until next week, I am Elle Marie. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Elle Marie TV.
And I am Carmen, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at king_karma with a C.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.